All aboard for the Kids Corner!
All aboard?
Sure, it's train talk, Joel.
But we're not on a train, Travis.
No, but Mr. Bryan brought over his model train set, and it's really cool.
And that's why we're talking train talk?
Just put on this engineer hat so we can get this episode started.
Okay.
Howdy there. You two the new switchers?
That's what it says on the paperwork.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise. You know what you're doing?
Yeah, we were hoping you would walk us through it.
Yeah, I know we're switching train tracks and stuff, but I'm not sure exactly how that all works.
Fair enough. Well, as you can see out the window, that is the yard.
Lots of railroad tracks.
That's right. And over there, you'll see Lionel on top of that hill. Say hello, Lionel.
I see you. Ready to start?
That's a copy, good buddy. Ready when you are.
Here we go.
What's happening exactly?
As you can see, Lionel has a train of freight cars on the hill with him. He signals us, and he unhooks the last car from the rest of the train.
Is the car supposed to be rolling down the hill?
Yep. It's building up speed so it can get through the switching yard and roll into place. That's where we come in.
I'm guessing we're going to flip these switches to tell the car where to go.
Exactly. Looks like this car needs to go to Cleveland. And according to this, the train for Cleveland is being put together on track 4. So we flip the switches so the freight car goes to track 4.
There it goes, right into 4.
That's pretty cool.
Yep, and after all the cars for a train are together, a locomotive hooks up to it and takes it to where it's going.
Like that one over there?
I don't see that one on the schedule. I don't know where it's going.
Is that a problem?
It might be. If it's not on the schedule, someone might think the track is clear when it's not, and then we could have a real fender bender.
I'll try to contact them on the radio. Hello? Train on track 6? Please respond. Hello?
I think I hear something. Turn up the volume.
Now that is a train set.
Hey, Lionel, thanks for letting me set all this up in here. My apartment isn't big enough to make anything that isn't in the way.
My pleasure. I used to have toy trains myself, but I guess I had to make room for other things at one point or another.
Flynn, don't even think about it.
Oh yeah, Flynn, let's put you outside for a bit. These aren't doggy toys.
Aw, does he have to leave? He was just looking.
I think it's for the best, Chelsea. Best not to lead him into temptation.
Sorry, boy.
Well, now, I have a lot more track left. You guys want to have at it? Maybe make a branch line or two?
I don't know what that is, but sure.
Great. Knock yourselves out, metaphorically speaking, of course.
Right, so how do you want to do this, Chelsea?
I don't know, Everett. I would love to make some sort of bridge so that the trains would go over each other or something.
That sounds pretty cool. I'll see if I can find some bridge pieces for that.
All right, can I get you more coffee, Brian?
No, I'll be okay, thanks, Lionel.
Okay, it's in the kitchen if you want some later.
Mr. Bryan, what's this piece?
Oh, that's a remote switcher. If I press this button on the control board, the track switches from right to left or left to right.
Oh, okay. Kind of like those in your switchyard then.
Exactly.
While you guys are doing that, do you mind if I listen to the radio?
I was just going to ask if we could listen to something.
In that case, your wish is my command.
The track is coming out really well, guys.
Thanks. I think we're almost done.
Yeah, we've just got to connect these two ends over here.
I especially like I have made a tunnel with those books.
That was Chelsea's idea. With the light on the front of the train, it'll look really cool when it goes inside.
You know, I've been playing with toy trains my whole life, Lionel, and it still hasn't gotten old.
I know what you mean, Brian.
It's just something about laying out a track and knowing that's the path the train is going to follow. It gives a kid a feeling of control, I guess.
Yeah, if the train stays on the tracks.
Everett's got a good point there, Brian. I always wonder when I'm working on projects or models if that satisfied feeling is something God feels while working on us.
I'd say so.
Wait, God works on us?
Absolutely. You think we're perfect as we are?
Well, in Philippians 1:6 and Ephesians 2:10, God tells us that we are His projects, being perfected for doing the good things that He has planned for us.
It's like this train track. He's made a way for us to go, and as long as we stay on the tracks, we'll end up right where we're meant to be.
Are you following this, Chelsea?
Not completely.
I guess it was a bit opaque. What we were trying to explain is sometimes in life we can think that we are the ones that should decide what we do and how we live.
Okay, but what's that got to do with trains?
Well, trains aren't like boats or cars. They always are at their best when they stay on the tracks. In the same way, God has the way that He wants us to live. This way may be difficult sometimes, but if we stay faithful and trust God, then we will grow closer to Him and He can depend on us to do His work here on earth.
Okay, I'm starting to see how the train example fits.
But God's a patient God, too. He's not just going to let us crash and burn if we slip up. He's always there and ready to help when we ask Him to forgive us.
Kind of like it talks about in 2 Peter 3.
Exactly what I was thinking.
There, I think that does it. You want to check this track, Mr. Bryan, before we try it out?
Sure, Everett. Let's see what you've got.
And while you do that, Mr. Jacobs and I can listen to the radio.
Looks like the new track is really working well. You kids did a good job.
Thanks, Mr. Jacobs. I think next time it might be cool to make this train go under the main line's train, just to keep it fair.
Of course. Can't have an unfair train line.
Yeah, unfair.
What's that, Chelsea?
Oh, I was just thinking about what we've been talking about today. You know, how God has a way, how He wants us to live, and if we don't, we can get into big trouble.
Right. Is there a problem?
I mean, sort of.
Oh, well, I can see if I can help.
Well, it's just that it doesn't seem fair. If we have our own lives, shouldn't we be able to decide what we do with them? Why do we have to stick to God's way of doing things? I thought the Bible said we're supposed to be free.
Ooh, some deep theology bubbling to the surface today.
Oh, boy. And it's not going to be as confusing as your train example, is it?
I'll try to keep it simple, Everett. You're asking a good question, Chelsea. In fact, it's one of the biggest questions anyone can ask, but I think I've got a pretty quick way to answer.
Really?
Sure. Who do these trains belong to?
I don't get it. How are we still talking about trains?
Just humor me for a second.
Okay, they belong to Mr. Bryan.
Exactly. Would you say that he could do whatever he wants with them?
Sure.
Could he throw them around? Could he smash them?
I mean, I hope he doesn't, but they're his, so I guess.
Right. Because they are his things, he can do what he wants with them.
But I'm not crazy. You know how much these things cost? I want to take care of them so they last.
Perfectly said, Brian. And that's how God feels about His creation. Bible passages like Psalm 24:1 and Romans 9 make it very clear that everything is His. The world, the sky, the planets, you, me. He is the king of everything. And though He can do whatever He wants with us, He also loves us so much that He paid everything so we could be free from the threat of paying for all of the wrong choices we've made.
And if you think about it, God does give us a chance to make our own decisions. He's happy to see us make creative decisions when it comes to art or work or even play. God didn't tell you the way you had to design His train track. He lets you use your creativity, and He loves it because He's a creative guy. Just look at His creation if you need proof of that.
But ask the beasts, and they will teach you.
What was that?
Oh, just a passage from Job 12 saying that creation tells us about the one that made it.
Speaking of creating and making things, I have a whole other box of train track if you guys want to work on another train line.
Another one? How much track do you have?
Like I said, my apartment was way too small for this collection.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Let me go get Flynn and put him in the house, and then I'll come and join you guys.
Great!
If we're going to be doing this stuff, are we done listening to the radio?
Yeah, you can turn it off, Everett.
Okay.